Welcome back to Tennis Town, guys. Thank you again for tuning in. Today we're going to go through why WOZNIACKI may be boycotting the Miami tournament next year. So, why WOZNIACKI is going to boycott Miami next year? Well, this is an interesting one. She complained to tournament director James Blake about the crowd hurling abuse at her during her second round loss to Puig, who is a hometown girl from Miami. Now, WOZNIACKI says that her coach's box, the members of her entourage in the box during that match received death threats from the crowd, and I don't know, her partner's nieces or something, they were super devastated. They were young kids and they were crying in tears. So I mean, that's never good to see, right? If that's the case, I mean, that's never good for a tennis match. But now she's thinking of boycotting Miami. Now, in my opinion, I have to say to WOZNIACKI, really? Are you serious? You want to boycott Miami because of the crowd? I mean, to be honest, I love those kinds of atmospheres, honestly. There is nothing better than a crowd that fires you up and getting a victory away from home against a hostile crowd. Really, that is the best feeling in the world, especially, in an individual sport such as tennis. When I used to play, I used to love getting those, those hard-fought victories against a hostile crowd away from home. I used to value those so much more than, than a good victory at home where everyone's supporting you. I mean, but that's just me. That's just what used to fire me up. But I think that a lot of players would think the same way. I think that crowds are part of the game, in my opinion. So you can't blame a loss on the crowd. Just like you can't blame the sun was in your eyes down one end, or that there was wind going from left to right. Those swirling winds that make the ball just swirl all over. I don't think you can really blame the crowd for a loss and say that you want to boycott a tournament because of it. I mean, I'd say to WOZNIACKI, try going to a football match. Try going to an English football game. See the abuse that's held out there and see how the players, they handled it all fun. So look, I don't know. And then she tried to sort of play it as if James Blake, the tournament director, former tennis player, should have done something about it because he had been wrongfully arrested some years ago. I mean, that's completely separate. Just because a guy was wrongfully arrested doesn't mean, he has to... I don't know. I don't see where the correlation is. But anyway, I think that as a world number 2, as WOZNIACKI currently is, as, former world number 1 and now a Grand Slam winner, you've got to be, mentally tougher than that. There are times when the crowd is just gonna... I mean, why wouldn't the crowd support a hometown girl in Puig, right? I mean, that's fine. Now, maybe the death threats, okay, if they really did occur, then that's a little too far. But then also, I think that everything should be kept in context. Just because someone says, oh, we're going to kill you, doesn't mean they're literally going to do it. You have to obviously keep things in context. Otherwise, what happens? Then we're all just running around pointing fingers at each other, right? So, look, I mean, I think that, WOZNIACKI, her status in the game, what she's achieved, she should be able to handle a crowd better. There's also a fantastic match I'm going to put up here. You can see the female Russian Davis Cup team playing that tie against Israel. The most hostile, or one of the most hostile Davis Cup crowds I've ever seen. And now look at the mental strength of this Russian girl. She's winning every point and absolutely giving it to the crowd. And they had her even more, but she goes on and wins the match. Russia end up winning the Davis Cup tie. I mean, that's the kind of stuff players love. I mean, some players can really play a much better tennis, but in general, crowds are why players like to play the Davis Cup. There's, I mean, a little spice in the crowd. That's always entertaining as well. So anyway, alright, well guys, that's it from me. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think that, WOZNIACKI is a little soft here, or if you agree with her. Let me know also what you think of crowds in tennis matches, what you think is acceptable for the crowd or not. Guys, if you haven't liked or subscribed, please do so. It would help me so much. Please don't hesitate to share the videos if you like them as well. It would help me very much to support and grow the channel. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon for another video. Cheers.